Welcome to the TPC Desktop video series. In this video, we're going to look at the table enhancements to the drawings in TPC Desktop 2017. I've got a small sample survey open here that has just one lot in it. I want to keep this pretty simple. And I've inserted a curve table, a line table, a point table, and a lot table. I did each of those with the insert up here. So here's our line, curve, point, and lot tables. And Traverse PC brought those in. I also told it include all the curves, all the lines, all the points, and all the lots so that I get all this data in here. So let's take a look at some of the enhancements available in TPC Desktop 2017. First of all, I'm going to right-click and go to the drawing settings. And I want you to notice that here in the bearing settings, we've got Apply to Tables. And if I look at my line table here, for instance, I want you to note how the bearings are displayed. But I've got some options in here that say I want extra spaces in between the north, south, east, west, and the actual numbers themselves. I want a period on the end of each abbreviation for north, south, east, west. And if these bearings were not in a table, that's how they would look on the drawing. So they would have these features. Well, one of the new options in TPC Desktop 2017 is simply to apply those to the tables. I want you to watch these bearings here as I say apply. See how they now have that format that they would have had in the drawing? The period after the S and W and the extra space between the letters and the numbers. A neat option in Traverse PC. So the bearings are going to look the same on the lines in the drawings as they do in the table. Okay. Another opportunity we have in the tables in TPC Desktop 2017 is to access the table. I can put the cursor over a table item and right-click and choose Table Properties. Prior to this, I could also put the cursor over to just a kind of a blank spot in the table and go to the Properties. But this makes it real easy. No matter where I'm at in the table, I can always get into the Table Properties. So let's take a look at what some of these new enhancements are. I see right off the bat that I have a new section in here called Header. That tells me that I can put a header above the table. So above the curve table, I can have a header that says Curve Table. So let's turn that on. I can also choose the alignment, the font I want to use, the size, and the style. Then I see there's a new section for column headers. These are the column headings where it says curve, bearing, horizontal distance, radius, etc. And I'm going to make these the same font size as the table items, but I'm going to make them bold. Kind of a nice little touch there. Then the items themselves have a font, a size, and a style. Then I'm going to tell Traverse PC I want to draw a border. We're going to use a solid line, and I can now control the thickness. And also, I want to fill the background with a beige color. Another new option here is the ability to choose the alignment. So I can choose left, center, or right. I'm going to make this right. And then also the decimal places. I can control all the decimals used in this table right here from the table itself instead of relying on the program settings. You'll also notice align spacing. Normally, Traverse PC uses half of the text height to separate the lines. So this would be a factor of 1. I can double that, triple that, whatever would be appropriate. And then, of course, we've always had the ability to have multiple columns and column spacing. So a real rich array of options here. Let's just hit the OK button and watch the transformation to the curve table. See what it did? Here's our header in that font that we specified. That was a Broadway font. We told our column headings we want them to be bold. We told Traverse PC we want to right align all of the data in the columns. And then we told Traverse PC to apply these bearing settings to the table items. Pretty nice. Let's do the same thing with the line table here. So I'm going to right-click, choose Properties. So here's the dialog for the line table. Now, of course, if I were to save one of these tables to my drawing template, it would remember all these settings for me. But it's also pretty easy just to come in and say, yes, I want to choose that same font and size. I want to bold the column headings, draw the border, fill the background, use the right alignment, Again, I can specify the decimal settings, and let's transform the line table. Now, I want you to notice about the line table that I told it I want 2 columns. So I've got lines 1 and 2 on the left side, lines 3 and 4 on the right side. Traverse BC repeats the column headings up here, the line, bearing, distance, and record. And then I've gone ahead and added some record data simply by right-clicking the header here and telling Traverse BC I want to go to Properties. And I simply added this record word with a delimiter here and did the same thing for the record data that I entered. And of course, it's all right aligned just like the rest of the data. Looking pretty nice. Again, I centered the heading, used the same background fill, and I'm starting to kind of see, wow, this makes these tables look a lot better. Let's continue on with the point table, do the same thing. I'll right-click it, choose Properties, and again, we'll tell Traverse BC we want to include the header and to center it. We'll set the column headings to bold, draw the border, fill the background, make sure it's right aligned, and click OK. And finally, we do the same thing for the lot table. Let's right-click, go to Properties, and let's do the same thing here. Let's turn on the header. Let's make the column headings bold, draw the border, fill the background, make sure it's right aligned, and click OK. So you're going to be able to do a lot more with your tables inside of Traverse BC. You're going to be able to make them look nicer if that's what you choose to do, or fancier, and make them pop off the page a little bit more. I want to tell you also that this background color we've chosen here can be used not only to fill the background, but to clear the background. So I'm able to set this background color to white, bring the 0 layer where those tables are forward, and now as I move the table around, it will automatically clear any extraneous data behind it. So if I've got a line running to a monument somewhere, and I want to put the table over part of that, I certainly can, and it'll clear that background behind it so it's not interfering with reading the text of the table. If I want, I can add more space between the lines to make them a little more reproducible, change the alignment of the data, just lots of neat things. And we think you're going to like the way your tables look better in TPC Desktop 2017.